All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Vays. Bitcoin is not having a very good day to start off today. Today is Friday, December 17th. So we are going straight to the charts to try and figure out what the hell is going on. Let's do it. All right, here we go. The monthly chart is sitting right at support. It's a moving average support. It is also this ascending triangle support that I do believe in it breaking out with a massive continuation of the current bull market. I still believe we are in a bull market. Now, on a long-term scale, what would make me question the fact that the bull market is over? And you guys are not going to like my answer at all. In order for me to believe that the bull market is over, I need a new swing low. And the only way we get that swing low is if we fall below $35,000. Okay. We need to establish a new swing low. That's on a monthly closing basis. We would also need to close below this next moving average, which if that's the 7 period, this is probably the 20 period, and it is. And then potentially need to make a new swing low on a weekly scale as well. So probably going all the way down below 30. It may seem kind of weird that the bull market won't end until we have fallen over 50% in price from the most recent swing high. But that is what happens when you have a consolidated top versus a blow-off top like this. It's a lot easier to call the end of a bull market when you're dealing with a blow-off top. But guess what? I didn't call the end of the bear market, of the bull market until we dropped to about 15, 16,000 and we got as high as 19. I called the end of the bull market around here. No, actually it was here. It was in January. It was mid-January. And we had already fallen like 25%. Here, it's going to be even trickier. But anyway, let's get to the lower level time frames. That's the more interesting part. Weekly chart. Weekly chart looks really bad. This would be the worst weekly close based on moving average levels since right here. This is where the moving averages had crossed, and we had a red star candle, and we closed significantly below both moving averages on the verge of breaking the lucid SAR. So this would be the worst weekly close since the week of March 2nd, 2020 in relation. Now, of course, we're at a way higher price than we were back then, but these are somewhat equivalent. This one was worse because the moving averages had already crossed. These moving averages have not yet crossed. So it's not necessarily as bad, but if we get a similar capitulation, let's see what happens. By percentage basis, the week after that close fell 50%. So what happens if we fall 50% next week? Not saying it's going to happen, but we want to be ready for the worst case scenario. Now, I don't think we will fall 50%, and I'll explain why. The worst case scenario is a 50% drop in a week, taking us down close to the next moving average and to approximately 20,000. This is a very critical line of support, okay? Like, for me personally, and you don't have to be me, right here, at between 20,000 and 22,000 is when Tone will probably be at the hospital selling his kidney in order to buy more Bitcoin. Okay, this is my half joking way. I know no one really wants to be joking around when Bitcoin is falling this much, but this is kind of my half joking way of saying that is the ultimate buy the dip, the absolute ultimate buy the dip. is in that low 20, 19 and a half, 20 and a half, 21 and a half, maybe even 22 and a half. Okay. So this is the ultimate buy the dip. Now, do I think we can fall this much in a single week? The answer is probably not. And the answer, the reason why it's probably not. Remember, my analysis is somewhat even asset agnostic. It's a lot easier to fall 50% from 8,000 to 4,000 than it is up here because it's just more money slushing around. Okay. It's kind of like a stock that's $6. It's a lot easier for that stock to fall to $3 in a short amount of time than it is for a $60 stock to fall to $30 in a short amount of time, right? So time matters. Can Bitcoin fall to 20,000? Yes. Can it fall there this quickly? Probably not. Can it fall there over the next 6 months? The answer is yes. Okay. The answer is certainly yes. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. This is, sorry, 4-day chart. This is my Consensio chart, and this was my 100% cash position based on this chart. This is a chart for those that are looking to, not actively trade Bitcoin, but kind of allocate their retirement account to Bitcoin. This is the safe chart. This is I adjust my positions once a week, once every few weeks. Doesn't take a lot of management. And 90% of everything that drives decisions on this chart is moving averages. The moving averages started calling for reducing bullish positions back in mid-November, an additional reduction in positions in late November, going down to 50%, an additional reduction going down to as low as 20%, holding Bitcoin on the big drop in early December. And then last week, with the break of a prior swing high, with the inability to have a V-shaped recovery on this bounce back candle, it was time to go fully 100% cash. And you are rewarded for that decision today because you are avoiding being long in the market unnecessarily. Now, if you are a long-term hodler, if you have a really long-term horizon, if you're not a total hater like my friend Stony, who is subscribed and has the notification bell to my videos, but is upset of me being right about the price of Bitcoin falling, you just buy and hold. You crank up that dollar cost average. You don't care. You don't care because Bitcoin is going to go back up. But this is a very concerning candle because in about a day and a half, we will have another moving average crossover. And this almost creates a full bearish situation. Now, it's very rare that I would put on this chart a shorting opportunity. It's possible, but it will be rare. This, where it says right here, 100% cash, this really should be the start of a short position. But I wasn't doing this chart back then. I kind of put this in there retroactively saying, hey, this environment here where you have a candle below all the moving averages and all of them are dropping, well, the long term is kind of still flat, is almost identical to this situation here. Because in a day and a half, these two would be dropping. This one will be dropping as well. This is even a worse situation than before. But there is one reason why I would not enter a short position now, while this had a much higher possibility of actually shorting Bitcoin. And I'm not saying you should short Bitcoin. Shorting Bitcoin is like staring at the sun. You want to do it very rarely for very short intervals and as carefully as possible. Okay. So I wouldn't recommend it. But if you did, this was a much better area to short than this area. And that's because we have dropped so much in a row. Like when we were hitting this area, we had basically dropped only 25% from the swing high. we have dropped only 17% from the most recent swing high. We were just breaking the consolidated lows, and the moving averages were pretty bunched together. Now, and 2 candles earlier, we had a huge positive candle looking like we're going all the way to the moon. This situation is incredibly different. First off, we have already fallen over 30% from the swing high, which is also the all-time high. And we have not had any strong rebound candles. So I would not be considering short positions in this point in time. When would I consider short positions? Where we are sitting on an MRI buy. And while the MRI only has about 5 to 10% influence on this trading method, I would wait for a rebound potentially next week. Like if tomorrow is another catastrophic day, taking the price of Bitcoin down to 44,000, and then we rally up to say 51, 52, and get rejected by the long-term moving average currently sitting at 53, then I would consider putting a short position on Bitcoin. Now, no one has to follow that. It's what the charts advise you to do. If you have a reverse of this situation right here, this is a reverse situation. So I don't want to, like if I flip this chart, if I say 1 divided by this, I really don't want to lose my annotations, guys. I really don't. I would flip this chart, do 1 over, and then when you see this rounding of a moving average with the price bouncing off of it, that is a possibility to short Bitcoin. Tone, fundamentally speaking, why do you think Bitcoin is falling when it seems the narrative has been better? That's a really good question, and I don't have a good answer for it. I just don't have a good answer for it. There's more sellers right now than buyers. Buyers aren't stepping up. See, what people have to realize is the following, and I've talked about this in other streams, and it's really, really important, which is why I'm not going to say it until after I promote Unconfiscatable. Come join us in Las Vegas, guys, March 3rd to 6th, downtown Las Vegas. The D Hotel is where we are hosting it. Please follow our Twitter handle. I'm trying to get to 3,000 followers. We tried hosting spaces last night as the Unconfiscatable Twitter handle, but for some reason we were not able to do so. Maybe 3,000 followers will get us there. So we got about 700 viewers live right now. So this is, I don't usually do calls to action, but please follow Unconfiscatable. We're going to be tweeting out our speakers. We're going to be tweeting out, the cool people that are joining us. And yep, Unconfiscatable is retweeting that I'm live. Awesome. We got a couple of people helping us manage this handle. So it'll be awesome. Okay. Oh, and nope, that's something I need to watch. My morning is spent learning about COVID and what's going on. So I'm very well informed. I finally watched that. I started listening to, I'm almost done with it, the recent Joe Rogan podcast that was removed from YouTube for speaking truth with a doctor about how COVID was not properly treated in its first, 6 months of existence and how we ended up in this whole mess to begin with. So check that out. This is the channel that I wanted to promote, Understanding Bitcoin. All the videos from the last conference have been released. Go ahead and check those out. They're really, really cool. And we will do another Understanding Bitcoin conference somewhere in the world, sometime in the near future. Okay, now let's talk about this. So here's what's really, really important. Wow, we're still dropping, aren't we? Daily chart is a complete and utter disaster. This looks horrendous. We have just broken the low from December 13th, and we are now threatening the low from December 4th. That is problematic. Short-term chart, this is the line that we broke. Remember, guys, I was saying, like my video that some people got upset over. That was my last video that said Bitcoin charts are looking scary. That video took place right here, the moment of the Fed meeting. And then the Fed meeting comes. By the way, I talk about the Fed meeting in spaces. There's a reason why this line was drawn. And this line, I did not alter this line. We bounced right off this line with the Fed call. And I said, don't rush into Bitcoin. It's very unlikely that the Fed is going to really alter the ultimate path. All right. Whoa, just dropped some more. New candle. Oh, not good. Not good. It's not good, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this line was not altered. This line was drawn in a very specific way. It was drawn to touch the maximum number of candles without breaking any of their bodies. It was also drawn on a 4-hour chart, not on a 1-hour chart. So you see it break some candles on the 1-hour chart very slightly, but on a 4-hour chart, it is a very, very clean line. Going back to the 1-hour chart, it's still pretty clean. We're breaking this candle a little bit, but it's an MRI buy candle. Breaking this candle by a centimeter doesn't mean anything. And then we're perfectly right here. Sooner or later, this line was going to break if it got touched too many times. And it broke an hour ago. Okay. You all should have been mentally prepared for this. I've been warning you guys. This is why the position chart went to 100% cash. And now the question is what to expect. This is an MRI buy candle on a 4-hour scale, but I don't really use MRI on a 4-hour scale. I don't know what it means yet. Okay, let's see what happens. I think if we crash a lot today and tomorrow, we can certainly bounce back into the 50s, but that's going to be a very tricky resistance area to see where we go next. Okay, so here's the important thing I was going to say, and we have 800 live viewers, so it's perfect. In order for the markets to go up continuously, you need additional buyers. Additional buyers need to sustain the market in order for it to go up, okay? In order for the markets to go down, you don't need sellers. You don't. There's no magical short seller. There's no crazy whale that sold everything. They're all usually nonsense conspiracy theories, okay? In order for the market to continuously going down, you need one and only one thing, and that thing is less buyers. That's it. It's not a conspiracy. It's not magic. It's not a secret, okay? Markets go up with demand. Markets go down without demand. You don't need sellers. You don't need sellers. You just don't have buyers, okay? It's the same for the housing market too, right? The housing market in your neighborhood will keep going up as long as people want to move to your neighborhood and buy houses. It doesn't mean it's going down with people selling. If no more buyers come in, right? For example, if your state or your neighborhood, right, or your building says no more people can buy apartments here, the apartments in your building cannot go up in price because there are no new buyers coming in. It doesn't mean anyone is selling. They will just go down on their own because there's no buyers. And that is something people forget. People always want to accuse dropping in prices on people selling. Now, that's not why prices fall. They initially fall because buyers just go away. And this brings us to GBTC. The biggest buyer of Bitcoin throughout 2020 was Grayscale and Barry Silbert. Barry Silbert and Grayscale were buying twice the average mined Bitcoin in 2020. They were buying up all this Bitcoin. Then once the lockup period was ending, because they were buying so much, BlockFi was probably their biggest customer, causing that. Once the premium dropped below zero, no one has bought into the trust. So Grayscale has not bought any Bitcoin since like January 2021, January, February 2021, around where the market topped. Your biggest buyer is gone. He's not buying anymore, okay? So there is not enough demand to buy into Bitcoin. And without demand to buy into Bitcoin, prices will probably drop a little bit, okay? So you do have to keep that in mind. Let me see if I can get this line back. There we go. Okay. Now, this premium is back down to -20, and I can't wait till the year ends because I get to buy 6,000 more of this in my Roth IRA. And I still believe this premium is going back to zero. All right, I see someone mentioned Dr. Peter McCullough. Yep, that was the recent Joe Rogan guest. Also, Dr. Robert Malone is excellent. And don't forget Dr. Pierre Corey. And I'm not familiar. Oh, Zelenko, yes, I've heard the name. But these are the doctors that like are on my radar, and I follow them on Twitter. Well, Dr. McCullough is new to me. I just heard him for the first time. But Robert Malone and Dr. Pierre Corey, I listened to them for as my unofficial doctors for my knowledge as to how to deal with COVID and what to tell my friends and family on how to deal with COVID. And they're doctors, so very, very reputable doctors. I have no idea how a whale thinks because I'm not a whale and I've never been a whale in any markets. I just, you know, the game of most poker players aren't on TV. They're just slowly make their money. Okay, I need to take a look at the stock that the Trump's media company. I know you guys don't like it, but hold on. What was that spec? 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So before I start looking at other markets, including the stock market and gold, for you financial people, we have the Financial Summit taking place in the Dominican Republic, August 1st to 6th. Incredible event. Rented out this entire castle. It's one of the best resorts in all of Dominican Republic. Come and join us. It is absolutely incredible. We're going to be posting some awesome videos from this event very soon. From the last event very soon. Okay, so Donald Trump, as you guys know, started his media company. And the ticker there is DWAC. Let's go and take a look at that. Let's see how ARK is doing. Not well, again. Okay, anyway, DWAC. I need to add this to my list. Hold on, I need to add this to my stock list. I need to be watching this. I really need to be watching this. Stock list, DWAC. Done. Okay, right there. Now, how's DraftKings doing? Football's, ooh, what the hell? God damn, people that broke to gamble? What's going on? I mean, football season is going into playoffs. Oh, who won the game last night? That was a good game. Well, I think it was Kansas City against the Chargers. I know I can look it up on my phone, but okay, DWAC. Let's look at that first, then we're gonna take a look at the markets. So I like this here, right? Another moving average has just shown up. This would be that's probably my 20, and that's probably my 50. That's correct, 20 and 50. I was right. And we had an MRI top, not really meaningful. Man, I really don't know what to do with these spec things. So these specs, I mean, they're treated just like IPOs, right? So to me, this is where this thing found out. So to me, it really kind of IPO'd over here. Like this is where people found out, this is where they rushed in, right? So did we fall 50% from this area? We did. We fell 67%. Okay. So that is a buying opportunity. We fell a lot more from the ultimate top. Okay. So this has certainly fit the Tone Vays IPO buying zone of a 50% drop after the IPO. This is the day everyone goes, what the hell did Trump do? And this is the day people go, oh shit, maybe I should own this stock. So this is the true IPO opening right there. And you can see how we dropped 50% from that opening. That gives you a potential buying opportunity. I like this secondary low here. I like this crossover of the moving averages. Well, it's a weird crossover because it's actually a downward crossover, but this average just shown up. So for me personally, I would be bullish here with YouTube banning Joe Rogan and with Twitter banning anyone that even quotes the CDC because Twitter is now the arbiter of truth because they don't like what the what people say even when they quote the CDC. This company has a shot. If this company can offer free speech, I know free speech is now a synonym for right-wing speech. I understand that fully. I understand that if you're not censoring free speech, you are supporting white supremacists and you are right-wing extremists. That's perfectly fine in the leftist media. That's okay. But if this company actually offers a free speech platform that doesn't censor, and it only censors, you know, really bad content like initiating violence or, you know, obviously child porn that gets censored, it can do well, can do very well. And sooner or later, I'll be switching. I mean, sooner or later, we'll all be switching off of Twitter and YouTube. I think eventually it's coming. I'm going to be doing more spaces because I feel that on spaces, you can speak freely versus typing something on a tweet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there too. Okay, traditional markets. Oil, I'm still leaning bullish, but I'm not going to be super bullish until we break the prior swing high. Well, until we break the prior swing high, which is $75. Gold rallied a little bit today, not interesting at all. The S&P fell today after hitting a new swing high. So the Federal Reserve statement had the same effect on the stock market as it did on the Bitcoin market. I'm still leaning bullish on the stocks as long as we stay above the prior swing low. We are sitting at support, so it's possible stocks can turn around next week, and so should Bitcoin. But that also means that Bitcoin is on its own throughout the weekend where it can dip a little bit more. Yeah, I miss Tyler and Leah and Willie and Jimmy as well. And I need to try to get them back on the show. Obviously, I can't get Tyler back on the show, unfortunately. But I can try to get Jimmy and Willie on again. Leah is a little bit trickier. Too busy being a CEO of a company. All right, guys. Don't forget, Unconfiscatable, coming to Las Vegas, March 3rd to 6th. We've already announced a bunch of speakers. Of course, anything can change, COVID restrictions and prior commitments, but we're also trying to get you our old speakers back. I'm still in touch with many of them. And once they have a commitment, we will put them on as current speakers. Please follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, trying to break 3,000 followers here in order to start hosting spaces as the Unconfiscatable Twitter handle. And if you want to support my work, I'll take a look at your live chat in a second. What about bringing back Tyler? Tyler is taking an amazing mental break from the public life. Public life is not easy. Anyone that thinks public life is easy, trading and being a public trader is very challenging mentally. So I'm giving Tyler his space and his time. So he may or may not come. I'm trying to get him to play poker. He was a poker player at Unconfiscatable. And we'll see. He is a trader. He's back to trading, but privately, doing very well. And we'll try to get him for the Financial Summit, which is a private event and is not recorded. It's not filmed publicly. I might start recording it only for private viewings of those that attended. This will be recorded and aired publicly. It may not be live streamed, but these we do record and share publicly, either in real time or eventually. If you want to support my work, you can check out Products and Services on-demand videos, where you can learn technical analysis, risk management, some options trading maybe, and the MRI indicator. We also have the MRI service where we look at stocks, but maybe I'll show it next time. All right. We are going to have the Scammy Awards. I need to we have to get the website up for the Unconfiscatable Scammy Awards. And we got to come up with categories. We got to do some voting on the Twitter blockchain. We'll get some votes in to see who's going to win the Scammy Awards this year. All right, my moderators, do we have any good questions? Let's see what we got. Tone, why do you see triple-digit oil? I mean, people have limited amount of money. They can't put money into everything. Yes, well, that's a good question. So there's a couple of reasons why I see triple-digit oil. First of all, oil has been triple-digit on several occasions. There it is. Oil was above triple digits for most of the year in 2011, all the way to 2014. Oil also spiked into the 130s back in 2008. It's 12 years, guys. 12 years. I mean, inflation alone, right? Like the world was perfectly used to a $100 barrel of oil as far back as 2011. You know, what kind of inflation have we had in the last 10 years? You know, prices should be up at least, what, 20%, 15, 20%? Inflation alone, okay? That's one reason. Another reason is that the global governments and the World Economic Forum are trying to get everyone to stop using fossil fuels. And the best way to stop using fossil fuels is to make it too expensive for people to use, okay? So one way to make the world a greener place is to make it so expensive for people to heat their home with oil that they are forced to heat their home with sunlight somehow, or just, you know, wear sweaters in the winter. So I see this global push to making the price of oil very expensive, so less people are driving. Remember, the planet is cleaner if no one has a car. The rich person can always take a private jet. They don't care. But a poor person has a problem driving his old gas-guzzling car if the price of oil is $300 a barrel. And the world elites do not want the average person to drive an oil-powered car because they are destroying the environment for the rich person. Now, like I said, the rich person can take a private jet. They don't care. They all flew their private jets around the world before they landed at Davos or wherever the hell they're landing, wherever there was that, you know, the global warming meeting, whatever the hell it was, right? So I believe that the rise in oil prices is certainly coordinated. I mean, the elites do not want cheap oil. They don't, because then everyone in the world has similar access like they do. Also, the demonization of oil like shuts down like the oil pipeline between US, like Biden shut down the oil pipeline between Canada and the US. So of course oil is going to go up if you remove commerce. All right, next. Yeah, I got to follow more proper doctors on Twitter that are educating, trying to educate sanity in a world of COVID. I don't know these doctors. Dr. Asim, well, I'm sure maybe I've seen their work. I just don't know them by name. And Majid, I'll check those out. Thanks for the comment. I don't see how this is a conspiracy. It's obvious. It's just grossly obvious. Yeah, Dr. Peter McCullough did a great job on the Joe Rogan podcast. No, Trading MRI is a, oh, my video is not on. Let me stop the stream. Trading MRI is a monthly subscription. You get, I'm gonna log into it right now. Trading MRI is gonna be a month. I mean, you get like, you get a free trial, but then it is a monthly subscription or an annual subscription, whatever you like. So this is Trading MRI. We can take a look. Here's a stock AAL that is bearish across the board. Let's see how bearish it is across the board. The daily chart doesn't look great, doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great. The weekly chart actually looks really bad. Like it's about to go down. It's been consolidating and slowly dropping. And the MRI support is coming. If that breaks, this thing could go down. But it's also a $16 stock. There's only so far down it can go. And the monthly is probably just getting started. Yeah, it had an MRI top. There's multiple ways to use this service. Tones assets. How do I add an asset? How do I add an asset? Adjust basket. Let's get that Trump stock in here. DWAC, is it? Is it available? Yeah, there it is. Let's add that to the tone basket. I think that's all I have to do. No, what did I miss? Adjust basket. Oh, there's an update button. That's what it is. DWAC. There it is. Update. Boom. That's how you do it. And now it's in here, right? So it's bearish on both counts. But once it goes bullish, that could be a nice possibility to enter. It's sitting right at support. And like I said, I like it. Here's the daily chart. It is bearish based on the MRI. So maybe I should stay. I shouldn't rush into it. Bearish based on weekly as well. But I think they're both going to start flipping soon. All right, guys. These videos are lasting a while, but I do have 800 viewers. Let's look at the price of Bitcoin one more time. Short-term scale. We rallied. Look at that. Little rally coming. Little rally coming. Damage has been done, though. Damage has been done. Maybe the low is in. You really don't want to break this 42. You really don't. Look, we can still survive this. Remember, daily chart is my favorite chart. We can still survive this, but it's not looking good. It's just not looking good. With every day that goes by, this resistance gets stronger because this thing is going to cross. I may move this over a little bit. I want to time it with the cross. I don't think this is going to happen now. This is a monster of resistance, a huge monster of resistance. The 50-day is moving down quickly. You're going to have the downward sloping trend line. You're going to have the death cross. If Bitcoin does rally into here, it's going to be tough to break. It's going to be tough to break. No, I'm not really hiring. It's unfortunately hit up Peter Schiff. I saw Peter Schiff the other day. Yeah, Peter Schiff doesn't care who I am. Check out Dr. John Campbell on YouTube. Yeah. See, when I was watching that episode with Joe Rogan and Peter McCullough, like, I didn't really learn much new. I didn't learn much new. I knew all of this stuff because I've been paying attention to it. I've been pretty much on the right side of the whole COVID thing from almost day one. I mean, I flew back from South Africa in March, right into the whole the very first lockdown. I took it seriously. I wore the mask. I isolated for like up to a month. If you guys look at my Twitter back in March, end of March, I went shopping for like 2 days straight. I bought like $1,000 worth of food, and I locked down for like 3 weeks to a month. And then at the end of April, I'm like, okay, I paid attention. I was learning what the hell it is. And I'm like, oh, okay, it really is a bad, nasty cold that can kill you. And therefore, there are ways to stay healthy and make your life as best as possible. And anyway, I don't want to get this channel banned. So if you just watch my Twitter and how I took it very seriously in late March and April, early April, and then by late April going into May, I've been on the right side of this thing from that point on. So there's very, very little that, I mean, I'm not done with that episode of Joe Rogan yet, but so far, there's very little that I'm learning that's new because I knew all of that. Like I knew all of it last year. Can we go below the high of the previous halving cycle? Probably not. I don't believe we can go below 20. I'm pretty confident we're not going below 20. Man, I got to write down all these doctors. I got to make a list of doctors. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the suggestions. I'm also in all of these like Telegram groups, right? Like COVID vaccine victims and American frontline doctors. And I'm in too many of these groups. Post a lot of good information. A lot. I'm trying to look for them. I'm in too many groups in general, but. No, it's a really good group. Actually speak to this guy. He's got over 200 subscribers in his Telegram. So here are the Telegram groups. I'll post them here if you guys want to. How do you? I have no idea how people make these like personal links. So here are the Telegram groups. If you want to learn about, I guess, the COVID stuff. Dr. John B is another good one. Here's another good COVID group. These are all Telegram groups to join. American Frontline Doctors. Where is that? Too many groups, guys. Trying to find them all. I'm in a few more. Can't even keep up with them all. Here it is, American Frontline Doctors. That one has over 200,000. Copy link right there. And there's one more. Oh, another doctor. 20,000, Dr. Kelly Brogan, another doctor, another Telegram group. And there's one more. I'm looking for one more. The COVID vaccine victims group. Maybe they took that down. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Found it. Yep, 140,000 people in it. There it is. All right, there you go. There you go. Those are the groups. Those are the groups. Solari report's good too. She talks about it sometimes. Those are my Telegram groups. Need to make like a section for like COVID Telegram groups. Lawrence, you implied the Carmen. I'm gonna be in Mexico in January. But I'm probably gonna be down in Cabo, not Playa del Carmen. All right, guys. I'm gonna get going. Thank you all so much for watching. I would stick to a cash position right now. I'm not rushing in because I don't like the way the charts look. This is a brand new daily low close, which is generally a really bad situation. If I was in Mexico, I mean, I think Mexico City and Guadalajara are just a little too big. I like Cabo personally. I like Cabo. It's one of my favorite cities. I mean, if you have to go back and forth to the US, you have Tijuana, you have Ensenada on, the West Coast. Tulum, it's not bad. I prefer Cabo. I still think we're in a bull market. I don't think we're in a bear market. I still think we're in a bull market. So I think we're going to reverse real soon and go back up. All right, guys, I got to get back to work. I got to work on these conferences, making sure people come and have a good time. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.